From exclusive items to portion sizes, we wanted to find out all the differences between Coca-Cola in the US and Mexico. This is Food Wars. In the US, Classic Coke comes in these sizes. First, we have the 6-pack of the mini cans. These are 7.5 fluid ounces each. We have a 10-pack of that same exact size. Next, we have the regular sized can, so this is a 12-pack of 12 fluid ounces. Then we have the big boy. This is a 24-pack of the 12 fluid ounce cans. Here we have the 6-pack of the 16.9 fluid ounce bottles. We have one 20 fluid ounce size. We have the 1.25 liter bottle, and then we have the 2 liter bottle. 3 liter Coca-Cola bottles do exist here in America, but they're very hard to find. Like, you won't find them at a regular grocery store.
In Mexico, you can find the classic Coca-Cola on so many different sizes, and this is what we were able to find. We have this baby one, 200 milliliters. This one is 235 milliliters, 355 milliliters, 600 milliliters, 1.35 liters, 1.75 liters, 2.75 liters, and the biggest one, the Queen, 3 liters. We also have these baby cans that come with 235 milliliters. They're the same as this one, but baby ones.
So in front of me, I have 3 mugs. One is filled with regular Coca-Cola, one is Diet Coke, and one is Coke Zero. So now we are going to put my taste buds to the test, and I'm gonna try and guess which is which.
We have Coke Zero, we have Coca-Cola Light, and we have the classic Coca-Cola.
Already it doesn't smell like regular Coke to me. I think that's Diet Coke.
This is the first one. I will say this one is the regular Coca-Cola.
That's Coke Zero, I think.
All right, second one. This tastes very different. I would say this is the Coca-Cola Light. Just because I remember my mom used to drink a lot of this, and I remember I didn't like the taste at all, and this tastes similar to that.
I think that's regular. Okay.
All right. If I'm right, this should be the Coca-Cola Zero. It's also a different taste. It is like the one between this one that I don't like the taste and that one, which I think is the regular Coca-Cola. So I would say regular Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola Light, and Coca-Cola Zero. I didn't like this one, which is the Coke Zero. And I usually drink Coke Zero, so now I'm confused.
I think this is regular. I think that's Coke Zero, and I think that's Diet Coke. Yay! Yes! I did it. Thank you. That's the only cool skill I have. Here are most of the Coca-Cola items from the US that you won't find in Mexico.
Here we have some of the different Coca-Colas that we found. We have this Coca-Cola Cherry that I'm guessing is imported from the USA. Also the vanilla one that also is imported from the USA. We have Coke Zero with cherry. And these two, they're like a special edition can. This one is K-Wave special edition, and this one is League of Legends.
In the US, you'll find Coca-Cola Cherry Vanilla. I couldn't find it anywhere. The 5 DoorDashers I hired couldn't find it anywhere. So what I did was went down to a Coke Freestyle machine and just got the cherry vanilla flavor on there, and it should taste the same, if not very similar. Let's take a little sippy. I can't resist a fountain soda. That's really good. It's really, really good. And I usually don't like the vanilla flavor in Coca-Cola, but the cherry balances it out so well.
Okay, I'm gonna try the vanilla. I'm very excited. Let's open this. I like the sound. Ready? Where's the mic? All right, cheers. I wish it was like cold, because it's not that cold. I actually really like it. It's very good. It's like sweet, but it has like that aftertaste, that after vanilla taste. Very nice.
At one point, we also had Coca-Cola Georgia Peach and Coca-Cola California Raspberry. This is what those looked like. I'm pretty sure that they've been discontinued, but I did find this. This, I believe, is a Chinese Coca-Cola that has a peach flavor, so I thought we could just try it since I didn't get to try the Georgia peach. Help. All right, pretend that didn't happen. It smells very strongly of artificial peach. It smells exactly like a bag of peach rings. Bottoms up. And it tastes how it smells. That is not my favorite. I just feel like Coke is good as is, and them adding all these extra flavors feels a little unnecessary, but I have to give credit to experimenting.
Let's try this one, the K-Wave Special Edition. Here we go again. It has like a different flavor. I don't know what that is, but it's like a candy. It's like, it doesn't taste like regular Coca-Cola at all. These little candies, like with different colors, it tastes like that. It's alright, I wouldn't buy it.
There's also the Coca-Cola Creations line. These are limited edition Coke product variants. They're not permanent and the flavors have been pretty interesting. The most recent flavor we had was Coca-Cola Y3000, which was co-created with artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, I couldn't find this anywhere. I have a feeling it's already been discontinued, but here's what the internet had to say about it. We are on Reddit. I feel like I have to say that immediately up top. Just some of these are weird. So a lot of people are saying that it tastes like Tutti Frutti. I see people saying that it tastes like the Tutti Frutti jelly bean. Somebody said I was thinking strawberry yogurt to BH. Garbage either way. That is the most disturbing description of a soda I've ever heard. Strawberry yogurt soda. So it's a soda that tastes like a candy that is trying to taste like a soda. I definitely get the notes of Jelly Belly jelly beans, but it's difficult to place which ones. It's like you grabbed a handful of them all at random and ate them without looking at what you were putting in your mouth. It tastes like I licked the outside of an apartment complex. How do you even know what that is? It tastes like dog water. All I'm getting from this is that maybe AI should stay out of the soda business because this sounds awful. Our last exclusive flavor here in the US is Coca-Cola Spiced, which I believe has a raspberry sort of flavor. I will say right off the bat, it smells like a candle. So that gives me pause. Isn't that so satisfying how a mini can fits perfectly in this cup? I just don't know why they would do this. Okay, cheers. I have no words. Not even the ice, I think, is saving this for me. All I taste is artificial raspberry. It doesn't even taste that much like Coke. The Coke, I guess, bones of the beverage, they're not there. I mostly just taste, this tastes like a completely different soda. It kind of tastes like a Fanta or something to me. I don't see this lasting very long either. Aside from exclusive flavors, we also have a few other options. So of course we have Diet Coke here. It's very popular. You can find this in Mexico, but I do think that Coke Light might be more popular. We also have several versions of caffeine-free Coke. This is the caffeine-free Diet Coke. It was all I was able to find today, but it comes in these cute little gold cans, which I think is so fun. Coke Zero is also very popular here. You'll find a lot of different Coke flavors with the Coke Zero formula. This is Cherry Coke Zero, which is all I was able to find today, but they also have cherry vanilla and the vanilla flavor in Zero. Both Diet Coke and Coke Zero are calorie-free, but they taste different. Coke Zero is supposed to taste more like regular Coke, while Diet Coke is supposed to have a lighter taste.
In Mexico, we also have Coke Zero, but our version of Diet Coke is Coca-Cola Light. Coca-Cola Light is actually different from Diet Coke. It comes down to the sweeteners. Diet Coke contains aspartame. Coca-Cola Light also contains aspartame and a lot of different ingredients that you can find in the bottle, but I'm gonna put it right here.
I also did purchase a Mexican Coke just to do a little taste test between this and the regular Coca-Cola we have here in America. I'm always excited to see Coca-Cola in a glass bottle like this. I just think, doesn't this look so much cuter? It's so aesthetically pleasing. I have my Mexican Coke. I have my regular American Coke. Okay, first let's take a sip of this. It's really good. Let me just go let's do a little back and forth, okay? You good? I think the caffeine is hitting me. This might be a little bit of a hot take. I do feel like the Mexican Coke has more of a Pepsi vibe to me, a Pepsi flavor, probably because it's slightly different ingredients. This to me is what I always think of as like the Coke formula, but this is just what I grew up with. So it's different, still good, but it's different.
We also have Coca-Cola with coffee, or how we call it, Coca-Cola con café. But unfortunately, we didn't find it on the store, so I'm gonna show you a picture.
Let's go back to the Coke Freestyle machines for a second. They're these touch-screen soda fountains that carry 165 different Coke products and give you the ability to try flavors that you won't normally find in stores. I'm getting married soon, and you have no idea how bad I want to put one of these on our wedding registry. I want one in my home. Let's go through the options we have for regular Coke. We've got cream soda, cherry vanilla, lemon, lime, orange, raspberry, vanilla, orange vanilla, and now tropical, which I am dying to try. Let's compare the nutritional values between a can of Coca-Cola in the US and a Mexican Coke. A can of Coke in the US contains 140 calories, 0 grams total fat, 45 milligrams of sodium, and 39 grams of total carbs.
If you drink 100 milliliters of this, you will get 42 calories. Also, you will get 10.5 grams of sugar, 10.5 grams of added sugar. You will get 0 grams of total fat and 10 grams of sodium. Saying that is only if you drink 100 milliliters. It will be pretty much if you drink only this portion of the can.
What about caffeine content? A can of Coke in the US contains 34 milligrams of caffeine. A can of Diet Coke contains even more with 46 milligrams.
A regular can of Mexican Coca-Cola also contains 34 milligrams of caffeine.
Here's everything in a classic Coke in the US. We've got carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavors, and caffeine.
Here's everything you find in a classic Coke in Mexico. Carbonated water, cane sugar, caramel color, phosphoric acid, natural flavors, and caffeine.
Now, this isn't the entire ingredient list. The actual Coke formula is top secret. Back in 1886, when John Pemberton invented Coca-Cola, the formula was kept tightly under wraps. They wouldn't even write it down. But eventually they did write it down, and now the top secret Coca-Cola recipe lives in a vault at the World of Coca-Cola in Atlanta. It's like a Coke museum. You can try all sorts of Cokes from around the world.
US Coke contains high fructose with syrup. Mexican Coke contains cane sugar. So the main difference between Coca-Cola USA and Mexico is the sweeteners that they use.
Cane sugar is natural and high fructose corn syrup is very much not.
Sugar is actually been a big point of contention between the US and Mexico. To save their sugar industry, Mexico actually tried to stop the import of high fructose with syrup so many times.
Coca-Cola is a huge fixture in American culture. I feel like almost more in iconography than the actual soda itself. The soda itself is extremely popular here. It's the #1 soda in the country, so we definitely love it. And that's not just in America. I think Coca-Cola has become so iconic that you can recognize it almost anywhere, no matter where you're from. Coca-Cola is so ingrained in American culture. We see it all the time in movies and TV shows, and especially when Christmas comes around, I think I see Coca-Cola everywhere, in commercials with the little polar bears, and of course, Santa Claus, and we have one. Coca-Cola actually had a big part in what we think of as Santa Claus. I think they hired an artist back in the day to work on a Santa Claus image for their product, and this is like the Santa Claus we all think of now, this like rosy-cheeked, white-bearded guy. Usually restaurants or other businesses like movie theaters have exclusive partnerships with either Coke or Pepsi. These exclusivity contracts are a good way for businesses to cut costs since there's usually a discount incentive. Coke's most famous partnership is probably McDonald's. We all know about their special Coke formula by now and how the delivery process helps keep their soda really fresh and bubbly and delicious. I think Coke does try to adapt to local flavors, which is how we end up with flavors like the California raspberry or the Georgia peach, but those don't last very long because nobody is all of a sudden gonna switch to that over their regular Coke. I think for me, Coke's most popular item has to be a regular Coke just their normal Coke flavor, but when I imagine it in my head, it's in that classic Coke glass bottle that's like used in commercials and old advertisements. That's just how it looks to me, a classic Coca-Cola. But nowadays, I think Diet Coke is kind of gaining in popularity, and then Coke Zero is like right there. They're gaining on each other.
Coca-Cola is actually super popular in Mexico. Like everybody knows Coca-Cola. Pretty much all the people I know drinks Coca-Cola. In every meal, like when you sit down with your family, there is one of these. In some areas in Mexico, Coca-Cola is cheaper and more accessible than clean water, so sometimes people prefer to buy Coca-Cola. I always see kids drinking Coca-Cola, like in the recreo, which is the break from the school. All the kids go for a baby Coca-Cola. I actually used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, but since a couple years ago, I stopped drinking it because I know it's a lot of sugar and it's not that good for you, so I stopped drinking it. I would say the most popular item from Coca-Cola in Mexico is the 600 millilitros, which is the 600 milliliters Coca-Cola. This is what you always get when you go to the store, when you get some snacks and then you buy a 600 milliliters Coca-Cola. It's very common to see Coca-Cola products everywhere, seeing Coca-Cola branding all over the place, when you're driving, when you go to the movies, when you're watching TV, Coca-Cola is always everywhere.
It tasted like sadness. My breath after the first gulp tasted like the cheese smell from a dog fart. I'm sincerely hoping this kicks my soda addiction. To which somebody responded, y'all are just making shit up now, which, yeah, it cannot be this bad.